So a lot of people who have different schedules, that just wouldn't be an option for them. My wife has told me I need to let you all know that I need to tell you that's because she is so awesome. And I mean, she's not wrong. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the person we rated, like, because we rated someone with City Skylines, and, it sounded like it was gonna be, that wasn't the one as, there's one of the ones recently where it's like, oh, this one sounds like it's gonna be super chill, and I'm like, it wasn't really that chill. But it was fine. Oh, right. No, the one we were with City Skylines, we rated someone else, and they weren't even getting on their mic. Like, the person had, like, already done their stream, and they're just like, well, I'm going to play some City Skylines. Hi, zombie. I'm going to play some City Skylines. Might as well stream it. And so, like, they were just talking in chat, and it was fine. But it's pretty funny. I mean, I was fortunate in the sense that the job was dealing with, being careful how much details to give. The job was dealing with some stuff that it was very difficult to be productive at the job for things outside my control. So a lot of my job was honestly waiting for other people to get things done at the current time, and those other people were constantly changing because, you know, it's a high turnover period. So in a lot of ways, it's just I was trying to be productive and constantly waiting on people, which means I didn't have anything urgent or anything I could particularly work on a lot of time. Yeah, except I'm not a manager. Or I wasn't a manager. And honestly, it was like one of the people that delayed things was that we had someone who was in the leadership position who left the company. And, you know, the entire project that we had been working on kind of got derailed because they were the, like, the project manager and that kind of thing for it. But that said, I was stretching myself pretty thin. But it wasn't awful. Now, Sustain, like, once things got more situated at the company and like the turnover was to go down quite a bit, then I would either have had to step away from the job or step away, like not step away, but like majorly pull back on streaming. Which realistically, the answer would have been majorly pull back on streaming, because for as much fun as this is, it's not like an actual, you know, 9 to 5 kind of job type income or anything. Like, it's not earning me like a livable wage or something. Like, even though I could afford to sabbatical if my wife wasn't working, if she wasn't working, I probably wouldn't, because then insurance becomes super complicated. But, we'll see. Like, I'll probably definitely, I mean, pretty much the two ways this thing goes is either A, streaming kicks off, not counting on it, because, you know, you don't kind of become, like, famous or whatever. But streaming kicks off and then go, oh, maybe this is something I can like actually do for a living, which it's nowhere near there. Or at some point I will go, all right, you know, I've had my sabbatical, I've had my time away, I've taken my break, you know, it's time to get back to work. We'll see though. I'm also being very picky on what I do next. Like, I like being in the side where you like educate people help themselves, that kind of stuff. Give them what they need to have the means to improve their lives. And I want to do it. Hey. I almost misplayed that in 3 ways. Because I saw the zombie, I thought I saw something down there, started turning down, and then like walking at the zombie facing the wrong way. Oh yeah, and it is 100% a good time to start being picky and asking more, and like, I shouldn't say I'm not willing to entertain, like, stuff, because I am. Like, if the right job came along, I wouldn't say no. Like, that's one thing. at the same time, I'm not exactly looking. So I am someone who, the moment a recruiter reaches out, I'm like, okay, you didn't include the salary information. For me to even respond to you, like, in any meaningful way, you need to include the salary information, the benefits. Is this a contract to hire, or full-time employee position? Like, give me the details. And I do that mostly for the fact that I want them to just include the salary information by default with every single position offering there is, because it helps avoid, like, the wage gap based on, like, the discriminatory wage gap is what I'm referring to. Because when they sit there and say, hey, this job is worth, you know, 115,000 or 200,000 or 50,000, whatever the amount is, this job is worth this amount to us, then they can't sit there and turn, well, I mean, they can, but it's much harder for them to sit there and turn around and go, oh, well, we're only going to pay that much less because we're less confident in you and whatever, which is usually how you end up with, like, the pay gap is. A person will be like, oh, well, we're not sure, even though the person's equally credentialed and all that crap. Plus, I really don't like wasting my time, you know, going and someone saying, we want someone with 10 years experience. Cool, I can do that. We want someone with this experience, someone with that experience, someone with this experience. Like, a super rare candidate, that's like, alright, you know, you're talking a pretty high-paying role. You're talking, you know, a very unique set of talent, a lot of experience, a lot of credentials. You're talking serious money. And they go back, so, how's 50,000 sound to you? And you kind of look at them and go, I mean, I too would like someone who has an entire career's experience for entry-level pay. I'm not gonna get it, but you know, I don't think that's gonna happen. And now that you've insulted me, I'm going to be hanging up your phone, and I'm going to be directly, you know, pointing out that your pay is insultingly low, and carry on with my day. The classic set your expectations. If you want someone with 10 years experience, you gotta pay them 10 years experience with. If you want someone who you pay entry-level pay, you gotta accept you're gonna get entry-level pay, or entry-level work. It's the way it is. Yep, that is 100% true. A lot of people, I shouldn't say people, there are a lot of companies that they're operating is they make incredibly chaotic schedules, so you can't safely tell, like, someone that you're going to interview that, oh, Tuesday afternoon I can work with, because you can't count on actually having that time Tuesday afternoon off and all that kind of stuff. You don't make enough to get by to seek out additional training, and again, chaotic schedule, good luck going to college if you don't know what days in the week you're going to have off, and your boss can just bully you into working any day of the week, meaning you miss class and all that kind of stuff. With stuff like certs, you usually have to schedule the time, go to a proctored location to take the test. Good luck doing that if they're saying, alright, well, if you don't show up on Tuesday, you're fired. And then it's just, like, you can't escape. And honestly, it's the way the schedules are so chaotic is really the worst part of the whole thing, because it just makes it impossible to work around it. Oh yeah, and then, like, and especially in tech, we have all the time, like, one of the ones that I had someone reach out to me, and they were reaching out to me personally and individually, and they're like, hey, I have this job I think you'd be perfect for, and it's like, cool. So I want to put you in touch with these people, but they're requiring you to have, I think they said it was like 5 years experience in .NET 7, I think it, or they said it was, is there 6 or 7? Which 7 doesn't exist yet at all. 6 is like brand new, but this is talking like a year ago they reached out. And I kind of looked at them like, alright, well, I hear that requirement, but you're also, like, it's bad enough that you'll hear people say, hey, I want you to have 10 years experience on this framework in Ruby. And you go, well, that framework, the person who authored began working on it 8 years ago. So literally, not even the creator of that framework has that credential. You physically are asking for something that doesn't exist in this world. But this is saying, I want you to have experience in something that doesn't even exist yet, and a lot of it. And you're just going, how do you think that works? And I understand it's a person writing the rec just says, oh, we want people with experience, 5 years experience in tech is good, but we want them to work in this tech, so we'll ask them for 5 years experience in that tech. It's like, did you bother looking to see if that tech existed 5 years ago? We run into that all the time. And then the worst thing is they'll do that, and then they'll say, okay, your pay, like, and they'll offer you entry-level pay. Like, it'll be a job that'll be, like, $45,000. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you may want someone with that type of credential, like, towards the end of their career level of experience for entry-level pay. It's not going to happen. And if you do find something that happens, it's because they're unhireable for other reasons, and you probably don't want that person. You know, the person who got caught stealing from the company at multiple jobs, or, you know, that kind of nonsense. Or, like, very publicly went on, like, a racist tirade in front of, like, thousands, and now people recognize their name as someone who does that and goes, no, we don't want to hire that person because, no, seriously, you don't want to hire that person. Even if you want to give them a second chance, you're going to make everyone else in the company uncomfortable with the fact that you're willing to hire them. Just accept it. Oh yeah, it happens. And that is a big reason why I'm with a bunch of different groups who are trying to normalize that just before you're willing to say anything more to a recruiter, the very, very, very first thing you do is you go, like, what is the expected pay range for this position? And what are the benefits for this position? You know, and then the stuff like depending on what you're looking for, like, is this full-time remote? Is this a full-time employee? Is this contract to hire? Like, what is this? The way I look at it is like, okay, if you're going to say, I want X, great, cool, I need that information. I also want to tell me what you're willing to offer me for X. Because I'm either going to continue or not continue this dialogue depending on what you say. Because I can't tell you how many times I interviewed for a position. They got all excited, like, oh yeah, we'd love to hire you. When can you start? And it's like, well, what's the job pay? Like, I need that information. Like, you've been holding this back at me. What does it offer? And there's like, oh yeah, it's this much. You're like, what are you, like, what? Like, do you have any idea what the market is like you're looking at? And my favorite is all these companies who have to hire remote now, because people are willing to hire remote everywhere. And so you have, like, these places that are used to only have to deal with local companies that they compete with, which leaves a very limited market that they have to compete with, so they can pay way lower. But now, since as a software developer, for example, even if I'm in rural Kentucky, I could sit there and go, all right, that's fine. I can still take a job in, you know, Silicon Valley that's full remote. Washington, Seattle, sure. New York City, fine. Hell, if I'm willing to go international, I can do that too. You're no longer playing, you know, competing with the other mom and pop shop in town. You're competing with the entire world. Or the entire world's being disingenuous. You're competing with, like, the rest of the nation and a couple companies internationally. And if you can't afford it, I'm sorry. You can't afford it. Plepis says, oh, let's see. Yeah, Mr. Spida says, yeah, watch my girlfriend go through that a lot. She has a degree and a ton of certs and experience related to her field, and she was constantly being offered entry level. Sentient Cookie says, that's really insulting. I agree. Mr. Spida says, yeah, she hasn't let it get to her. She found a place that pays enough for now, and while she works on her master's. That's cool that they work with her on that. But yeah, Plepsy says, hey chat, not to change the subject, but why is that red maintenance down thing popping up? Maintenance down thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, so Plepsy, I have a mod installed called Weapon Condition Indicator. And what that is every time you say, like, you know, machete and down arrow, it's setting I have lost the tiniest bit of durability from my machete hitting a zombie. So it's warning me that I've damaged my machete. Which is something that happens just as you use weapons. They get damaged until they break. So that's what that mod is it has these bars down here that shows how much durability is left on them. But on top of it, it is warning me anytime I damage it. And then Mr. Spice says that if you can't afford to pay your employees what they're worth, then you need to rethink your business model or close down. And I agree. And I actually find it to be a very frustrating argument when, you know, you'll hear people say, oh, well, if they can't survive on that page, you know, that pay, they need to budget better, you know, buy less coffee or avocado toast or whatever insulting thing they say that usually isn't even based on reality. And then I'm going, well, if you can't afford to pay your employees a living wage, maybe as a company you should budget better. Oh no, it's all good, Plepsy. And I do try to make the fonts bigger, but you know, there's only so much you can do. But yeah, I got you. Oh, should we pop in here? I feel like we should pop in here. This store, Time for Sport, excellent place to get weapons. Primarily long blunt weapons more than anything else. As a question, how is watching this stream on mobile experience? Is there anything you look at and go, that's really not great on the phone? Because I don't like, it's not that I never get on Twitch on the phone. It's pretty rare. Usually I'll get on Twitch on the computer. I guess I should also preface, for my stream, not Twitch itself. Like, if Twitch itself is kind of garbage, like, I can't do much about it. But, if it's stuff I'm doing in stream that makes it worse, let me know. Gotcha. Yeah, like, if it's a Twitch problem, you know, totally out of my hands, but it's like, oh, hey, just so you know, that thing on your screen, totally unreadable. Yeah, and I figured it's probably really hard to see stuff and all that. I try to do what I can. Like, I have turned up the text size in the game to more than double what it starts as, if I'm not mistaken. I could potentially make it bigger. But yeah, trying to make it the best I can. It's terrible. You need to buy a bigger phone. Yep, gotcha. And that is one of those things, like, if anyone ever watching sits there and goes, there's this one thing on your stream, it's not jiving. Now, I will say, saying it in general, like letting me know, that's not bad. Even better, though, is on the Discord I have a feedback channel. You know, if you drop stuff there, I do read it. It doesn't mean I'll guaranteed action about it, because it depends on, like, one, how actionable it is. Because, like, if someone's like, your stream sucks, I'm going to be like, well, alright, thanks for the constructive criticisms, that's totally actionable and I can do something about that. Sorry. Please don't do that, by the way. But if someone is like, hey, you know, when I'm watching your stream, you switch to this one screen, and when you do, like, it's super hard to see anything or anything like that, or maybe it's just too dark or too bright, and when you're playing certain games, anything like that, because I do try to make it the best viewing experience I can. I'm not going to worry about the weapons in there, because I've got plenty. I'm more interested in the post office right now. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is getting towards the proper downtown Riverside. This is when things start picking up. Do you have another machete for me? Yes, you do, lady. Thank you. I appreciate your contribution to this cause. All I have to do is keep an eye on that machete. It's to our north right now, going around those trees. Alright, middle of the road behind the car. I think it was a pink shirt, was it? Doesn't matter. We'll find it. Yes, and that is exactly what I'm looking for. Cream shirt. Okay. I remember it was a bright color shirt. I think I called it a pink shirt because there's like another zombie two in front of me with pink, and my brain just short circuits sometimes where I will think one thing, I will see something else, and my brain goes, yep, that's totally it. Yeah, it'll be around here somewhere. I'll deal with that in a moment once we get these. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I see the exact body it is. Like, we always listen to chill music, but like this chill piano melody playing, where the chill music always feels a little off with Project Zomboid. Not in a way that's like bad, it's just like, oh yeah, this definitely would not be properly fitting music for the game in any way. This feels especially not fitting for the music. It's like the, where you see like the trailers to games where it'll be like, playing this like nice chill piano melody or whatever, and you'll just see in the background just explosions and all sorts that happen. Oh yeah, and that's the whole point. His music is supposed to be like relaxing, chill. I want people to you know, I mentioned it, like people deal with anxiety, people deal with stress, people, you know, deal with like insomnia. Like we all have different stuff we're dealing with. And I try to offer people either a place to like calm down if, you know, things are getting to them, because telling someone to calm down is not a good way to get them to calm down. However, what does work is, you know, stuff like massages, relaxing music, distracting stuff, anything that gets whatever their stressor is off their mind. Oh yeah, Command and Conquer Red Alert. I still can vividly remember that like intro track. I mean, I will say one of the things I miss from the days of working at a startup is having massages on Friday. Just they had a masseuse who would come in on Friday and give massages. And it wasn't every Friday. Once in a while, you know, the masseuse had other stuff they had to do, which is all cool. I get it. And I didn't, like, you know, there's only so many appointments per day or whatever. So sometimes it's like, no, I'm going to not have one today so that other people can. But, like, oh, I miss that. And I've never been, like, a huge massage person. But when it's right there, like, just right there. There's a lot of bodies everywhere I seem to go for some reason. I thought about driving up. I'm like, this is probably one of those situations. It's better if I walk up and aggro them by line of sight and just kill them off as they show up. And not completely pile in. We're getting pretty tough, but let's not full-on Superman this. We only got a machete, not a katana. It's only amazing. Let's get away from these trees. Oh yeah, no, in real life, if it was like a bloodborne disease and you're dealing with like mosquitoes and that, the chances that would transmission would be very high. Because most zombie lore is that it's blood and or saliva will do it. Not all. There's some that's magic, there's some that's other stuff. But like for a bite to make sense, it has to be fluids. Which immediately opens up the concern of like mosquitoes and other biting insects. They call this song calming? Right, and I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. Like, I know the basics, but that's basically about it. Right, let's hop over in our car, because we're actually getting exerted because we're just slapping so many zombies down. Skills are looking pretty good. I'll pull those up here. As a reminder, this character did start as what I refer to... close for a moment. Gonna pause for a second. So these skills did start as what I refer to as 0 to hero build, which means when I start as weak, unfit, and obese. So this is completely empty when we start. Not a point in strength, fitness, none of our crafting, none of our weapons, nothing. And so this is what we built up to over the course of a bit shy of 28,000 zombies. So we are making excellent progress. We did finally get our levels in fitness and strength up quite a bit, but now we're getting to that point where it's an absolute slog to gain more points than that. Nimble's actually coming along. Nimble's about halfway to our next level. I wasn't expecting that to be up that far. We're getting pretty close to leveling short blunt and short blade. Long blade's coming along. So yeah, let's go get pretty exciting. And one of the reasons why I specifically wanted to come to the post office is I am missing the book for this. And I would like that book, because I'm pretty sure I have Master Tailing. I just don't have Expert. I actually am not missing much in the way of books. If I look at our training materials, yeah, I'm missing an engineering magazine and a cooking magazine, and no one cares about Guerrilla Radio. So we are doing good. The way we've trained most of our fitness and strength is through killing 28,000 zombies. We did have 1 or 2 days we worked out because there was a tropical storm pretty early in the game that, you know, well, during the tropical storm there's nothing better for us to do because running around outside fighting zombies in the dark during a tropical storm is how you lose a character. So we just stayed home, got swole. And let's see, thank you for the follow. Chip Mom, welcome to the stream. But yeah, so it's mostly just fighting zombies. Especially when you're at low strength, you always end up having more stuff on you than you can reasonably carry. So you have to be very careful to not go exerted. Thank you for the follow. Plepsy, or Plepis, welcome to the stream. I've misread that a bunch of times. Oh, from what I thought it was giving me a Mamerge, that's just a bread knife. Was somebody like, game? Don't do this again. Because we've had twice now where we had 2 katanas at the same time because it gave us a katana and we started our rampage and then we found a katana while on our rampage. I want to just aggro them because I do want the zombies out of the area immediately around us. I do not have the car's radio on, I don't believe. And that is a dangerous thing for me to do, because we have multiple helicopters on. And this would be a very terrible place for a helicopter to show up on me. And if today were a helicopter day, there's a good chance you'd see, have it show up any single time now. Oh, quit. Now that I realize my radio is not on, now you're all going to show up and keep me from being able to go deal with the radio. Let's see how it is. Nightstick on you. So just above the snow, we have a nightstick. I don't care about the bolts enough for this, so that's fine. Let's get in the car. I'm also trying to give my character a chance to recover their stamina a little bit. Alright, sounds like tomorrow we're expecting rain or snow. Good. No helicopter. I was expecting a house alarm there. I don't care about much in here. I just want to sneak in, check the books. Stop it. Okay, so let's stand in between the shelves. Oh, there's some of the magazines we haven't read. Which teaches how to make cake batter and pie dough, so that's important. Alright, no dice here. Yeah, it has that vibe entirely. Okay, so I've had runs like that. It's like, this isn't a rare item. Why can't I find it? Oh, all the zombies die so fast. Yeah, with a splash of SimCity. I can buy in that. It'd be a weird thing. Okay, come on, zombies. Let's not do this. I just killed 2 hordes here, like, 2 seconds ago. Like, this whole area is bodies. Give me a breather. I saw there's another horde moving in from behind us. Lovely. Elgos says, I actually started this run because I got bored of living in the firehouse, and here I am again. Yeah, that is one of the catch with some places just being like objectively good places for certain things, is it kind of makes you want to go there unless you specifically make a point to not go there. And I know I'm leaving a lot of hunting knives on the ground. Too many bodies. Okay, so I can finally send the car and recover a little bit of stamina. I mean, Burn Sun is not wrong. That is one way to solve that problem. If you burn it down and it's not there anymore, you won't stay there. Okay, at first it's like, do I turn back or do I keep pushing? No, I'm not gonna suck down a bunch of vitamins to keep pushing. We got a lot more zombies to force our way through, so take our time, be safe. Especially with how many have collapsed in behind us, which is something we should be expecting for a while now. Okay, Scissors is like, what was that sticking out of her back? Elgos says, burning down the firehouse is too ironic for me. How have we been burning through this food that fast? I mean, I guess it is like, we're coming up on 3 days straight up here, and we haven't been able to eat like a proper variety of produce instead of just potatoes and tomatoes for the most part, because that's about all we've got left. It is really early for our character to be sleepy. Alright, we saw if we can get through there. That'll be hard to keep track of. Guess they didn't have a nightstick like I thought they did. That's fine. Even if they did, we've killed enough of them. We've got enough nightsticks. It's not a big deal. Alright, let me catch up in chat. Zumberfish is saying, all this talk of working, careers, and good pay inspired me to do something more with my life. I installed Project Zomboid and will give it a try. What's the easiest starting occupation? Harsh sentient cookie. Yeah, unlimited hot dogs is kind of my point. Some of the most popular occupations to go for is burglar, because it lets you hire hotwire cars right from the get-go. It's like repairman or something that gives you maintenance, which means your weapons last the longest. There is, I think it's like lumberjack, which makes you do extra damage with axes. There's a few other good ones. I'm trying to think. I personally roll with unemployed, but doesn't give you any advantages whatsoever. It's just a thing. But yeah, pretty much all of, like, that's one of the things that's nice about Project Zomboid. Other than a few negative traits, you can choose just about anything in the game, and it can work. Like, there's only a few things that are consequential enough to be impactful. Like, the death trait is a bad time if you're not planning to do the death trait. Like, it changes your entire game. Illiterate is a very bad time, you know, as well, because it prevents you from hooking up generators and that unless you're the electrician, I believe it is the job. So, like, not being able to read in the game is really rough. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do those 10 push-ups that Zidian cashed in, and I'll be right back. People are slacking on the redemptions for the last 2 nights. Like, compared to the last 2 nights, I should say. Like, last couple nights, like, we were knocking out all the push-ups barely into the stream. Like, It is true. I did start late, but even for starting late, we're nowhere near where we would be as far as hours go. Which could just be maybe maybe some of the people who hop in at the beginning of the day hit them much harder than later. I don't know. But yeah, no, I did start late. It's family time with the wifey and all that. Like, she had there was stuff she wanted to do, and so we scheduled it and made it all happen. Good times, had fun. Ate too much. I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night. Grrr. When we get back to the house next, I'm going to have to reset our sleeping schedule. Choke down some sleeping pills.